I'm just going to talk about whatever's on my. And like I said, this one douchebag, they had a video for him, and that's what I've been thinking about. I'm not kidding you. That busted me up, and that dipshit got arrested. Oh, what's the other one? I gotta watch this tonight. This was one of the first auditing groups that I ever watched. It's called Free Keene. They're out of New Hampshire, and they might be, their leadership might be going to jail. Apparently, they've been doing a lot of these people did the normal sovereign citizen stuff. They weren't really First Amendment auditors. They were more sovereign citizens. They don't believe the government's real. They think they can break whatever laws they want, that kind of shit. And what happened was yeah, nobody's chatting in there, but if anybody's still around, say hi so I know you're there. But no, they actually did a few cool things, but most of what they did, they basically just try and break the law. Like they tried to declare their house was a church so they wouldn't have to pay taxes. They thought that getting a permit to have a dance party was an option, and they kept getting shut down. They didn't think they had to register their car or get a license, that kind of shit. And after a while, enough of them got arrested that they quit doing it. There's a lot. Pull those down. But they got tired of breaking the rules. And the next thing they did, they quit putting those, because a couple times they had some close calls. They almost went to jail. But they started doing these videos where they would like try and basically run for office. They figured they get in, they'll change the rules that way. I'm gonna do this for a while. Not fun. But they actually started, and they finally got one guy elected. He was an old guy. I think the dude's senile. I swear to God, I think he's senile. And what he ended up doing was, he was, I think, on city council. Might have been on a county board, but I think he was on like a city council. And whether he was doing it from where he was seated, or whether he was going to like the state legislature and offering these proposals up. Some of it he did on the board he sat on, and some of it I think he did the ones that where any citizen can go and propose changes and shit. But he was doing stuff like he wanted them to pass a law that you could no longer pay government workers in anything other than silver. Couldn't use greenbacks or dollar bills anymore. It had to be silver. He passed another one that it would basically make it so you didn't need a driver's license to drive. There were certain things that happened, like if you didn't pay your taxes or something like that, it was basically an administrative hearing, and they would take your house from you. You know, there were just certain functions of government that were done by administrative hearing. And he's in there going, well, he wanted every one of them to go to a jury trial. And, you know, and these people are like, dude, you are fucking nuts. You know, we're not gonna drag everything down into the gutter and tie up the courts for this nonsense. You know, people are just gonna have to pay their bills. No big deal, you know. And he was always doing this shit. And they even had a couple where he got busted. I don't know if it's because he didn't register his car, because he doesn't have a driver's license, but he was constantly getting arrested for that. And they'd show his court where he was flipping out in court. And I've actually even seen legal experts or legal laymen explaining, oh my God, that guy should just be slapped by that judge with contempt because he's just being an ass, you know. But that's the shit they were doing. Well, I gotta watch Masshole later, because they got a new video where those guys are I think six of their leadership are going to go to jail for something they're doing with bitcoins. It's like financial fraud or something like that is what it's listed as. So they're probably going to be going to jail. And so I don't know. I want to see it because those guys haven't been on it. Now, if you were aware of that march, this is why I like following this stuff, because sometimes it comes out to be useful, interesting. If you were aware of that march down in Charlottesville, Carolina, it was the one where those guys were running around yelling, "Not racist" and all that. There was a guy that did an interview with Vice News, and with that, he made a comment to Vice News. He ended up getting picked up by the cops later, and I don't know if he went to jail or if they wanted to put him in jail. I don't really know what happened to him. But when he was on, that was the one where like some protesters got run over by a guy in a car. There were ministers of faith. There were, I don't know what denomination it was from. It wasn't just one religion or another, but there were religious leaders down there that were actually under attack. And then, for anybody that's interested, the Black Lives Matters group or the Antifa groups, I don't remember if it was Black Lives Matter or Antifa, according to those ministers, they were the ones that came and protected them. The cops were basically fucking not up to their job. And these, I think it was the Antifa group, they actually came to their rescue and protected them from these fucking. This guy was given an interview with Vice News, and he basically made the comment. I'm trying to quote him exactly, but I'm at least in the ballpark. But he made a comment about, well, we're not non-violent. We'll kill these animals if we had to. I guess being black makes you an animal. This guy. That's all I can figure. And then, but he basically, yeah, we're not non-violent. We'll kill these animals. It was that. That was the main reason why, because I think down there too you had, I think it was the Proud Boys. They actually made video of them jumping and beating on him, put it up on social media. And so there was a lot of people that got picked up. Well, that guy that had made the comment in the interview that he wasn't, he killed these animals.
Lonely Biker joined the game.
Hey, Biker's here. But he made the comment that, he killed those animals. Well, he had been one of these Free Keene guys. He'd been one of the Robin Hood guys. This is probably the only cool thing I'm aware of that these guys did. What they did to fuck over the city, they they hung out where the parking meters were. And I mean, seriously, this is the only cool thing I think these guys did. They
from Weiss.
But he was one of these guys. What they would do is they would go around and they would put money in the parking meters for people. They would put the money in the parking meters so that they wouldn't get a parking ticket. And originally the cops tried to arrest him for that. Well, the courts ended up throwing it out. They're like, look, if these guys want to stand there all day and pump money into a parking meter, they can do that. They can absolutely do that. Hey, how you doing, Biker? I didn't think I was going to make it today. He was on earlier in chat, but I think I was away.
Biker is sleeping in a bed.
I went downstairs to eat, and I really wasn't sure I was going to make the stream because I felt like crap. Well, after I ate, I spent about a half an hour having stuff come out of my sinuses and stuff come up from my from coughing. And I got a headache from what drained out of my sinuses, but I feel better. I felt like crap all day. I was still going to try and stream, but I honestly didn't know if I was going to make it up the stairs after I ate in time to do it. But I feel a hell of a lot better than I did at lunchtime. Yeah, he actually logged in. Like if you look on you should be able to see the chat in a minute. But if you look there, he made it on. He said hi and he left, but I was AFK at that time, so. I'm not accusing anybody because I honestly don't know, but when I got back, it wasn't like that when I left. I don't think. Now, maybe I ran by it because I was doing stuff. Maybe I ran by it, but I don't think I did it. But I don't think it's a big deal because I actually think it was an accident. If it's anything at all, and it might have been an accident I did, I really don't know. But when I got back on and I was coming over here to stream, all my mushrooms were loose. And I had just built that pole barn on it yesterday, and they were all loose. None of them were in there because I saw them over by the nether portal, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I thought maybe I had opened the gate. Well, no, something blew a hole in the side of my pole barn. The fence was gone. There's a couple holes in the roof. I have no idea what happened. I'm thinking a creeper went off or something like that. I don't really know, but that's all I can figure is a creeper went off. But yet, if I'm AFK, so I don't really care. If it's an accident, it's an accident. But I would dearly love to know what happened to my shit while I was AFK. But but the way my head was earlier and the way I was yesterday, it's entirely possible that I ran by the thing and set off a creeper and just wasn't aware of it. It's entirely possible that I was fucking around earlier, and I shouldn't do that stuff when I'm feeling like that, but I figured I was safe enough at my raid fund. I'm just glad that when I got done adding on to that raid farm that I broke all the beds, because that happened the last time we had new people on. I was showing him my trading hall, and the dipshit on the way to the trading hall started killing pillager captains, and he set off a raid. He set off a raid at my trading hall, and I asked him because he was playing around with a crossbow, and he's like, "Hey, look, I got this." And I go, "Did you by any chance shoot somebody that was carrying that had a little flag on his back?" And he goes, "Yeah," because he wanted to build his base near mine. And I go, "Did you by any chance kill a pillager captain, that was carrying that?" And he goes, "Yeah, why?" And I got home, I go, "This is why you need your own base, because," I go, "I can't have you over here blowing up my shit like this." I go, "I do it enough on my own." Crow made it for the stream for a little bit. Hey, welcome aboard. I've been talking about some goofy shit. I really have. So if anybody out there, feel free to start a discussion on something else, because what I'm talking about is probably only fascinating to me. But until somebody starts changing the direction of the conversation, it's probably going to stay right where it is, because whatever I've got on my mind is what I'm more likely to think about. Okay, I'm going to try and tell jokes now. Now that when I didn't have anybody watch and I didn't really care, but I'm going to try and tell some jokes now that I got some people on. A kid comes home from school and he's talking to his dad, and he tells his dad, he goes, "Yeah," he goes, "We got a thing at school," and he goes, "I have to explain the difference between reality and potential." And his dad goes, "Hey, I think I can help you with that." And his dad goes, "What I need you to do is I need you to go to your mom, your sister, and then your brother, and I need you to ask all of them if they'd sleep with Brad Pitt for $1 million." And he's like, all right. So he goes and asks his mom, and she goes, well, I really love your husband, but yeah, for $1 million, I think I'd sleep with Brad Pitt. He's kind of cute, and we could really use the money. And his sister's like, oh God, yes, I definitely sleep with Brad Pitt. He's so hot. And then he goes and asks his brother, and his brother's like, he goes, for $1 million, yeah, I think I'd sleep with Brad Pitt. And he goes back and he explains it to his dad. Oh, that's okay. But he explained it to his dad. He goes, yeah, all three of them said they'd sleep with Brad Pitt for $1 million. And his dad goes, all right. He goes, this is the best explanation I can give to you. He goes, potentially, we are sitting on $3 million here. But in reality, we're living with two sluts and a bisexual. And, okay, let's see. There's another joke. Now, this one I saw on TikTok. This one I actually saw on TikTok, and it was somebody did a duet with the guy, and they said this guy deserves like Father of the Year. And I'm not kidding you. I found it funny. I absolutely found it funny. This guy said he was trying to teach his kids about politics. And so what he did is he told all his kids that they were going to vote to see what they were going to have for dinner. They could vote for whatever they wanted. And the guy goes, all my kids voted for pizza. Okay, I don't like bashing cops, but I think none, because they'll just beat the room black and blue. But I could be wrong. Well, anyways, this guy basically said he was trying to teach his kids about politics. So he told them to vote for what they wanted for dinner. And they all voted for pizza. And then the guy goes, I made them tacos. Because he goes, I had to explain to them that they don't live in a swing state. And I'm like, that's mean. That is so mean. But it was the whole thing. He's letting them know, like, hey, if you're in California and you're not a liberal, if you're not a progressive, you can vote for whatever you want, but that's what you're going to get because you're living in a real blue state. And if you're like in Texas, you could be a really good, if you're not a conservative Democrat or Republican, you can vote for whatever you want in Texas. That ain't what you're going to get basically conservative because that's not a swing state. It's a political thing. I kind of like it, but that one cracked me up. And I just lost another viewer. I'm trying to think of some good jokes. If my head was clear, I'd be better. I can usually come up. I need a better day than this. But I'm trying to. But that one though, that was another one that was on TikTok. Okay, this one was on TikTok, but I remember that this one's really nasty. There's a woman that does these jokes. She tells them to her daughter. Oh, okay. There's a woman that tells these jokes with her daughter, and her daughter gags on every one of them. Just absolutely gags on every one of them. And I had heard this one going back to high school, and her mom, this one here was really getting to her because she was having trouble telling it. And she goes, "What's red and has 7 dents?" And her daughter's like, and I think her daughter had some friends over too, and her daughter's like, I don't know. She goes, Snow White's cherry from the dwarves. And her daughter just like, oh, that's disgusting. And but I'm trying to do like really crude stuff right now. The other one is, what did Cinderella do when she got to the ball? She gagged. These are disgusting jokes, but I've started seeing some of these on